He knows it doesn't matter what's under a hood. The only thing that matters is who's behind the wheel.
When I flush it, I don't stick to this.
But again, with the driver right now, the driver sucks.
I tried to activate my glutes the best I could.
Now watch this drive.
Hello, and welcome back to Under the Covers, a golf podcast where we deep dive each week in the latest PGA Tour winners bag. We are Matt Fitzpatrick. Just kidding. My name is Dominic. We got some fun talking today. We got Matthew with us here. What is going on, Matt?
What's up, Dom? I wore my LIV hat today for our LIV guys. RIP, or maybe RIP in 2026. Also, I'm taking a sabbatical from the game of golf for a month due to my poor play. So,
oh no,
I know it's not good.
Didn't you just shoot a 68? What am I thinking of?
No, that was best ball 68.
Oh, sure. Okay. Yeah. Well, sorry to hear that. I guarantee I'm going to see you on the course at the end of the week. But we also have Kevin with us. What's going on, Kevin?
Hey, guys. I'm excited to talk about the Zurich coming up. I got my TPC Louisiana hat on, in honor of it. Got to play TPC Louisiana one time, and it was very fun. A friend took a blade of grass to the eye. His eye swelled up like a tennis ball. But hey, win in New Orleans.
Win in New Orleans, baby. That's a tough one. But yeah, so... like I said, got a fun show for us. A lot of LIV golf talk, I feel like. I think there's a ton of golf news, but first we need to talk about the RBC Heritage. Matt Fitzpatrick wins his second golf tournament of the year and second RBC Heritage win. It's fourth of his career and officially rose to number 2 in the FedEx rankings. Proud member of the New York Golf Club. Shout out TGL. Started off with a hot 65, kind of just stayed up on the top of the leaderboard. Went 65, 63, 68, 70, and that was with a closing score of 18 under. It kind of entered in Sunday with a 3-shot lead, kind of coasted for that whole round. I think he had, 14 pars in a row. And it's kind of tough to do that with Scotty on your tail because he definitely made it very interesting. It came down to that 18th hole. They essentially had the same chip shot going into the green for a birdie chip, going in for par. Scotty had a real tight one, and then Fitzpatrick duffed it. He just wanted to make it interesting. Ended up bogeying. And the playoff, identical tee shots. This time, Fitz wasn't, into the bunker. And then, just got it done. Ended up sinking that awesome putt. He is a frequent Hilton Head vacationer. As a kid, as a young lad, him and his family would go. I think he was saying when he was 10, super young, they would always go. So really loves this course. It's really fun for him to win this tournament. And then they even recreated their family photo with the lighthouse in the background. It's incredible. But yeah, Matt, what do you think about Fitzpatrick winning a second tournament?
Well, he's definitely a top 5 player in the world. I think they have him at number 3 in the official world golf rankings, and he's 4 in data golf rankings. I think Jon Rahm's still ahead of him, but I think he's solidified himself as a top 5 player in the world, right? I think it would be, if in my eyes, it'd be Rory, Scotty, Justin Rose, Fitzy, and Tommy Fleetwood are the top 5 players in the world right now. So he's certifiably a great player. I just want to say he definitely pulled that iron shot in the playoff. I don't think he was aiming there. I think that was oh shit, it's right at the flag.
Right.
So I will say I think that was a happy accident, but all power to him, man. I feel bad for him. I feel like he gets treated so unfairly in the United States. He was getting booed at the players not booed, but people are clapping for when he hits a bad shot. They were clapping after or cheering, I guess, after he duffed that chip in regulation on 18.
Which is so annoying.
He doesn't deserve it. He's not a bad guy. And it's not like he's done crazy things in the Ryder Cup, which people don't like him for. He's Matt Fitzpatrick. He's lovable. He's not even a bad dude.
He's our front piece catcher's boy.
I know. Yeah.
It's so weird. And so there's been a lot of talk about those USA chants. And I get it. It's fun. I think the PGA and the fans there are lucky that it's Matt Fitzpatrick and that he's so classy and that he took it that well, because I don't think many other people would. I mean, you see Jon Rahm on LIV and PGA just yelling at people for being so loud. I guess they're kind of yelling at his backswing, but I don't know. It's not the Ryder Cup. It's not USA versus London or England. You know, like, it's just, I feel like you can find something new to chant is kind of what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's kind of an old thing. Like you said, of all the Europe golfers, he's easily like the most calm and likable. You know, he's not like super fiery and shit talking the crowd or anything. You know, everyone loves Rory, but I could see like people giving it to Rory more so than Matt Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, and I love I can't hear you.
The I can't hear you after singing the putt was awesome. It was so subtle and just throws it right back in their face. That was great.
So perfect. And like, going back to what you said about him pulling it, is that just because it was super windy, first of all? So
Yeah.
that's why him and Scotty were both all over the place on that last hole. But do you think it was because, I don't really know how to word it, they're not always aiming for the flag? Like, that's a really tight green. Like, it's really, you know, if you miss left, you're toast no matter what. So like, they're aiming for that little mound on top of that green, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think with that win, it was into him off the left, right? So it was into him off their left side coming in. It was blowing like 30 miles. Like, it was blowing hard that day. And he's definitely trying to hit like a knockdown shot. And sometimes when you hit a knockdown shot, you have to come over the top of it a little bit to like hit a knockdown shot and keep it low. And I think sometimes when you do that, you can hit the pole. And I think he just came over the top of it and just hit the pole instead of the, you know, keep it low shot. And I think he was probably aiming middle of the green and he pulled it 15 yards and it went right at the flag. And I think originally he thought he hit like the left going left ball, not like the left going straight ball, which saved him. Cause I think if he hit the left ball, it would have been in the water and Scotty wins, no problem. But
For sure.
all credit to him, man. I mean, I also love Harbortown. I think Harbortown is such a cool golf course. Like, it's so fun to watch. It's so fun to watch a different type of golf. Like, it's just, you don't see a lot of that where they have to think off the tee and, you know, they're in the trees. I think we were watching like the first hole on Sunday, and Mrs. Under the Covers was like, every ball is going right into the trees on the right on the first hole. And they all had the same shot from the right, except for Jordan Spieth. He hooked it out of bounds on the left. But
only Jordan
he's our beautiful boy.
He's our beautiful boy.
But yeah, it's a cool golf course. I hope it stays, because I know there's rumors of courses like that not staying in the new premier events kind of rotation. But I hope Harbortown does stay, because it's such a cool golf course and I love it. And then you get to 18 and like the conditions are just like, it's like biblical out there on 18 usually, which is sick.
Yeah,
So,
you're all up in the trees the entire course, and then for 18 you're like, am I in Oregon playing Bandon right now? What the heck is going on? And it's such a cool finishing hole. Definitely a shot shapers course. We talked about that a little bit last week, kind of going through our one and dones. But Kevin, have you played any? I'm asking you, Kevin, because I feel like in Texas there's not as many, you know, woodsy courses. But like, have you played any of those tee shots that they're like suffocating? Those tee shots, like, if you don't hit it correct, you're toast no matter what.
Yeah, certainly. The Midwest is absolutely loaded with big trees and, you know, tight tee shots. Not quite, you know, the Carolinas version of that, like where, you know, there's a lot of pines out there. But a good friend of mine used to live in Raleigh and was a member at a place, Pine Hollow, that was pretty awesome with, you know, the pines and how you had to place your tee shots. I quite enjoyed playing there. One of our good friends shot the round of his life, and while I was like slapping it up, you know, zigzagging my way up the course. But yeah, definitely it makes a nervy tee shot, but you feel like if you can drive it, then you can have a good day. And Matt Fitzpatrick in strokes gained, he was third in the field in driving this week. And then it was like in total driving, he was first. And so clearly he's got the driver working. That Tensei Orange is doing good things for him.
Yeah, it is. So the RBC Heritage, very fun course. You know, the week after the Masters, I feel like it's mixed reviews from what I've been hearing on the interwebs, where I know we all like it, but there's some people who just don't really think too much of it. I think it's maybe just because you put so much energy and focus into the Masters. It's kind of, some people are like, I already watched a full weekend of golf. I don't need it again. But like for us, we love it. So it's easy listening. You know, the players can score pretty well if the conditions are right, but they can also do horrible. I know, was it Nelly Corda? There's LPGA player that was saying like she loves it whenever all these players do horribly, because it's like you kind of got to earn your way and shot shape a little bit instead of just bombing it. And I was like, I kind of agree with that. But yeah, very cool course. A lot of people were taking frustrations out, it seemed like, after getting beat up by Augusta. Like Potgieter, he was dead last at Augusta, came out swinging. Siwoo Kim, Cantlay, Homa, all these guys.
Homa had a club toss.
I know, right after talking about Sergio. What is that
I know.
about?
He had the two-handed tomahawk, which is objectively sick, but
It looks way better.
yeah,
like
that's 14-year-old Kevin right there.
if you're, I am perfectly okay with you tomahawking a club into the woods as long as you're not like hurting a tee box. Like if you're just hurting it, there's nothing wrong with
It's a waste area in a tree, like who cares?
Yeah.
We just love Max Homa. So going back to our beautiful boy Justin Spieth,
Justin Spieth.
I'm going to read a tweet from Justin Ray about Jordan Spieth. So I got my mind crossed a little bit. So Justin Ray on Twitter, I apologize. During Spieth's opening 2 days, he became the only player in the last 20 years on the PGA Tour to be under par, but also have 4 double bogeys and 0 bogeys through 36 holes. Just an unreal stat from our guy.
He's the gift that keeps on giving, man. He's so bad. He's so good. But I mean, I think he was the best putter in the field this week or something like that.
I think I heard about that one, which is very Jordan Spieth.
Because I think he was like the worst putter in the field at the Masters. But
yeah,
beside the point.
He's been playing like Justin Spieth lately. I'll tell you that. So I have a question for you, Matt. I'm not sure how much you listened, but I believe this was on Thursday or Friday, but they're talking about the conditions of the course. I think it was Friday because Fitzpatrick just had that awesome round, but they're essentially saying that Saturday is going to be the highest scoring round of the tournament. And my question to you is, how do announcers know that? Like, how are they predicting what is going to be the hardest? Because at the Masters, they said Friday was going to be the highest scoring, and they weren't wrong per se, but like they said it was going to be hard and fast, the conditions, and it was completely opposite. So like, are they just throwing darts at the wall or what?
A lot of times they'll look at the pin positions. The pin positions are probably the biggest factor, right? The course is relatively the same every day. It depends on the wind. So if it's either the wind could have kicked up on Saturday, which I can't remember if it did or not. I was doing my own thing on Saturday, but and then the pin placements. If they have all the pins tucked, they know that the guys aren't going to get at them. But if they have all the pins in good spots, they know the guys will tear that place up. So I think that's what they kind of look at, and they kind of make a projection kind of based on that.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense, because it's so funny when you hear that, and then it's just so wrong. And you're just like, where's the accountability anymore?
Shoots like 62.
Yeah, 63, tying his lowest round on Friday. Fitzpatrick did, but it's just silly. And then I just loved his comment at the end where he was talking about the yelling and, played it off super well. And he's just like, well, I guess they just have short-term memory because we won in October. Like, hang that quote in the Louvre. That's incredible.
Well, I feel like we're going to get absolutely just roasted in Ireland next year, and it's going to be a bloodbath because we keep egging their fans on and egging the players on of chanting USA at PGA Tour events, which is not good.
Not a good idea.
Yeah.
That's part of it, though, is, the game is growing. You're getting all these baseball, basketball, football, hockey sports fans, and that's what they do at an event. They yell for the people they like. So I don't know if it's just like nobody's taught them. They just don't care because it's fun. Why not? No one's telling them not to. But yeah, it's kind of like etiquette, pace of play, outfits out there. You want to grow, but you don't want to grow too much, I guess,
Yeah, I think Nance used jingoistic was the term he used during the playoff.
Is that a real word?
Yeah, I think it is.
Where did he get that from?
I don't think Nance would use a fake word. Nance is pretty he does his research, but
that's awesome. Well, I think that's kind of all we have about RBC. So going into Matt Fitzpatrick, we already have, this is our first repeat winner on Under the Covers. It is a first, and it is also the first time one of our one and done picks has won the tournament. So it's a very exciting episode. But on that note, since we already talked about Matt Fitzpatrick, we're going to shift gears a little bit because there's so much news going on in the LIV world. We're going to go to our correspondent down in the LIV Golf Twitter atmosphere and talk about Jon Rahm's latest win.
That's right. I go by the midnight Twitter account. A LIV Golf fanatic, I think, is what my there's a lot of burner accounts out there for LIV.
That's awesome. Did you want to go through it?
Yeah, we can hit Jon Rahm. Jon Rahm wins in LIV Mexico. He might never win outside of LIV. And if LIV ceases to exist after this, we might never get another Jon Rahm win. So we got to do his bag. So Jon Rahm
a major anytime soon. I know that.
Definitely not winning a major anytime soon. And I think he's banned from all other tours outside of LIV and the Asian tour. So maybe we'll hit him up for the Hong Kong Open in October or something like that. But let's take it under the covers, and Kevin can tell us what's under Jon Rahm's covers. Big Callaway boy we have here today.
Yeah, big Callaway boy, Travis Matthew guy. His driver, he's got the Quantum Triple Diamond driver, 11.5 degree, pretty unique loft there. It's kind of funny, like LIV just being like so low quality in a lot of different ways. They did a What's in the Bag like a month ago for Jon Rahm, and they put 11.6 degree and published it. So I was like, either that's really weird or it's a typo. But then everything else since says 11.5s. Clearly they just messed up and didn't proofread. So he's got the Ventus Black 7X. We've talked about that quite a lot. Super common shaft among the pros and fast swingers. His 3-wood Paradigm AI Smoke Triple Diamond, the high launch version. So he's got the 11.5 in his driver and then a 16.5 in his 3-wood. So that the way he delivers the club to the ball, he's definitely looking for some help getting it up in the air on these woods. And then his 5-wood is a pretty stock 5-wood loft at 18 degree. I'd like to know kind of like the mapping of his bag, because he's only 1.5 degrees different on 3-wood to 5-wood. But his shafts change on his woods to graphite design. So he's not using the Ventus on his 3 and 5-wood. He's got the Tour AD DI 8X in both of them. So, again, that 1.5 degree loft difference, I was thinking like, okay, maybe he's using a different shaft and that is, changing the launch characteristics, and the 5-wood's going higher and shorter. But he's using the same shaft, 8X, pretty stout shaft for sure. I'd love to know like what his thought process is on the 5-wood. Maybe it's more of like a specialty club for him. But Dom, don't you have the DI in your 3-wood?
No,
Or do you have the HD?
I have the HD in mine.
Yeah, HD.
6.
Oh, yeah, this is the orange one. Yours is blue.
Mm-hmm.
So, cool builds. He's got the AI Smoke in the 5-wood too. So he's a couple of years old here now on the woods, but using the current driver. And Matt, you've got some experience with the Quantum Triple Diamond, right? Or did you play the Core?
I am playing the Quantum Max Triple Diamond. So the more forgiving model at 9 degrees of loft with a Fujikura Blue 6X. So, I don't swing it as hard as burly boy Jon Rahm. I don't have as some might say I don't have as much junk in the trunk as Jon Rahm to swing it that hard, but close.
I don't think anybody does.
It's a great driver though. You can hit that thing all over the face and it still goes straight. I'm very pleased with the Quantum these days.
Am I wrong? Doesn't he shorten his driver shaft too? Is he still doing that?
Most players do.
Yeah.
His have you ever seen the thing about like one of his legs is shorter than the other one?
I did see that. Yep.
Yeah, I feel like everyone's like talked about it. It's kind of an old story, but
yeah,
that's like why he swings the way he is, and he just utilizes so much power out of that. So, most players do shorten it, but he's got his, maybe a little different for his body type.
Kevin, what's the difference between the orange and the blue graphite design? Do you know off the top of your head?
Well, so there's a bunch of different colors. Like there's several different blue ones. So your HD would be like mid launch, mid spin, where the DI is going to be more lower spinning than that. The one that Tiger played for a while or is still playing, the VF is their lowest launching, lowest spinning. So that's like black and maroon colored, kind of that Sunday red type of color. But they've got a whole bunch of different shaft profiles at Graphite Design. It take forever to actually test all of them.
Yeah,
Too many. I feel like I get lost with graphite design.
They're pretty sweet. The one Dom has in his driver and 3-wood are pretty awesome.
I'm loving it. It literally, my 3-wood used to go farther than my driver. It was ridiculous. There's just that little bit of extra pop, and it rolled forever. But now I matched them, so it's a normal bag now, which is fun. So thank you, Kevin. So the next clubs are a little bit more interesting because we're kind of, we're not really sure which one he's using. He kind of flips back and forth. But what are the next clubs? It's either, utility iron or what has he got?
So according to the What's in the Bag that the LIV Golf posted a month ago, he had 4-through pitching wedge on his irons. So it went straight from 5-wood to irons. But then we also saw some stuff about utilizing the Apex utility iron at 21 degrees with the KBS Tour hybrid shaft. So it sounds like he might tinker around, switch it depending on tournament, utilizing that 4-iron or the utility club. The Apex utility is pretty cool. I'd be curious to know if, which I'm sure we could find it somewhere, but I'd be curious to know if he has like toyed around with the Heavenwood that a lot of players have used, instead of this Apex utility, but a little more forgiveness there on the 4-iron if he's using the Apex 21. But then he's got on his irons the Callaway Apex TCB. We talked about these a couple weeks ago. And as a refresher, Dom, what does TCB stand for?
It's not total cavity back.
Not quite. Matt, you remember?
Tungsten cavity back.
Tour cavity back.
Oh, dang it. I overthought it. Shoot. Okay.
I was thinking about TCBY, the yogurt place.
Dude, what a throw.
Yeah, better players, cavity type of iron, kind of like TaylorMade's P7 CBs, where it's not like a total game improvement. It's clearly a player's iron, but gets a little bit more forgiveness. And as we can see with his driver and his woods, he's trying to throw the ball a little bit higher in the air due to his delivery. So that cavity back will help him get some higher launch on his iron. So good fit for him. Project X 6.5 shafts, so not quite as strong as Rory's 7.0s, but 6.5 is quite the stout shaft still. Still swinging a 2x4.
Is part of that reason of not trying that Heavenwood, Callaway, do you think part of that is because he just swings so hard, you almost want to have an iron, or is there no difference there?
I think he's looking for, with the Heavenwood, he'd be looking for forgiveness no matter how fast he's swinging, and because he's looking for high launch in his other clubs, I think the Heavenwood would really go along with that. Mm-hmm. But maybe just out of versatility, maybe he uses the 5-wood in that capacity to have a higher lofted wood. So maybe the Heavenwood is not necessarily needed, be some overlap. And then when he's got a thick lie in the rough, he wants to chop down with the utility iron, rather than have a fairway wood.
Makes sense.
Callaway releases the TCB in a raw finish in Japan. I've been looking up some TCB raws. You can get them for about $1,500 a set. It'd be very, very cool to get my hands on one of those. I would love a raw set of irons. I feel like having that you can spot a player from a mile away if they have I think even Xander uses the raw TCBs.
That seems kind of low because, I feel like normal irons these days at, top level irons, they're around that $1,400-$1,500 mark. So I'm surprised that the raw is right around there too.
Well, I think these are used $1,500.
Oh, okay. That makes way more sense. Gotcha.
Said that was in Japan.
Yeah, I think they only release them in Japan though.
They get like the coolest releases all the time for all manufacturers. Mizuno is like clearly like obvious why they, get the best releases there, but like literally everyone.
Yeah.
There's been some Japanese specific like Scotty Camerons that have been really cool. We need to spread the love here. So we're going to go over to his wedges. It's a Callaway Opus SP wedges, 52, 56, 60. Same shafts as his irons. Project X 6.5. The Opus are some pretty cool shafts. I haven't personally tried them, but I know someone who has, who speaks extremely high of them. Maybe they could replace Matt's love for Vokies one day if he ever tests something out.
Nope.
But pretty standard look here on his wedges. What do you guys think?
Yeah, plays a pretty standard wedge. Same shafts in there and everything. I feel like Jon Rahm has always been a pretty good wedge player. I wouldn't say he's like jumps off the page as a wedge player, but again, I feel like he's a company guy. He was all TaylorMade when he was TaylorMade, and he's all Callaway when he's Callaway. Like he never had a club from like a different manufacturer. So I think he's probably I think he's one of those guys that it really doesn't matter the wedge you put in his hand. He's going to hit it pretty much the same, feels like.
Yeah. Pure speculation based on how he's approaching this whole like returning to one of the tours thing, not paying fines. It seems like he's really like dollar driven, and I don't know that to be a fact, but the way he was like a full company man for TaylorMade and then switched over, one day later and was a full company man for Callaway, it kind of seems like he's just going for the biggest dollar and the biggest paycheck, and he's not looking to pay any fines now in his current like LIV Golf struggles.
Yeah, it seems like, like you said, it really doesn't matter what he's using. I think it just shows how good of a ball striker he used to be. Now he's kind of back and forth a little bit, but he's just so pure that it really doesn't matter. I was watching, there's all the YouTube golfs videos, but with his wedges, he's still taking massive swings. So I was curious because, typically we've seen the wedge shafts kind of go down in stiffness, but he keeps it the same throughout. So he's swinging just as hard with his 60 degree on like a 3/4 shot. Obviously chips are different, but it is interesting the way he uses those.
Yeah, or he's got him that stiff because he's trying to reduce spin. It might not be necessarily he's trying to like swing or go after it that hard, but he might want that stiffer shaft because a lighter shaft will increase spin.
Interesting. I didn't know that. Very cool.
Yeah, and then on his putter, he easily has my least favorite putter that we've ever talked about. The Odyssey White Hot OG Rossi, no alignment line, 0 degree loft on his putter. I absolutely hate it. I think it's the ugliest thing on earth. The Rossi's it's a pretty like classic design. Like everyone has played one at one time or another, whether you were, just picking up the game and you found one at Played Against Sports, or you love Odyssey and you picked up a brand new one.
Or you're using
they keep
your
coming
dad's
out with
putter on the putting green in his office.
Right.
Yeah, 100%. I can't tell you how much I dislike his putter. It's so ugly. Just, ugh.
Go in.
Next time we see him in person, we should tell him that, Kevin. We should give him.
He'll totally listen to us.
Yeah, for sure. Why wouldn't he?
We're gonna get you into a
PLD
PLD, John.
Podcast around.
Yeah, we're on a first name basis. We call him John.
Johnny boy.
But then his golf ball, Callaway Chrome Tour. I have a kind of interesting story about a friend of mine was in the airport and ran into a Callaway rep one time. They got to talking about, their love of golf and, what do you do for work? And came out the person as a Callaway rep and it's like, oh, do you play our balls? And my friend's like, no, I typically play a Pro V1 or TaylorMade TP5. And they're like, oh, like find me at baggage claim and I will give you a box of balls and I guarantee you it will be your favorite ball from then on. Like pretty huge claim. Friend is just getting bags, kind of forgets about it. The person hunts him down, gives him balls in the airport. And then he said that legit, like it became his favorite ball. He's telling me the story. I was like, damn, I haven't tried any of the new ones. Like I gotta go buy and swing some. I bought this was when it was the Chrome Soft LS was out before the Triple Diamond. I played it and I shot my career low the first time I ever played this ball. So I was like, maybe there's something to these Callaway balls.
Dang. And those were the Chrome Tours?
It was the Chrome Soft LS, so now that's been replaced by a newer line. We got the Triple Diamond.
I believe Callaway golf balls are manufactured. There's a big manufacturing for Callaway golf balls here in DFW. That's where they do a lot of their manufacturing. It's a massive facility. It's right next to the NASCAR.
Ooh, nice. That's fun. I thought they were in Carlsbad, California.
They are, but I think they manufacture. Somehow the golf balls come out of DFW for some weird reason.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, everyone's in Carlsbad, but Titleist manufactures their balls in Massachusetts, and different plants, different places.
Yeah. Well, Jon Rahm, as Matt loves to say, he's Dak Prescott, just winning in garbage time when the points don't matter. He wins LIV Golf Mexico City, which we talked about it before. Surprisingly, is only his second win in LIV history. Blows my mind.
Yeah, he got like second every event last year, and then won the year-long season race, but never won a golf tournament. I don't know. It's so weird. The whole thing is so weird. But yeah, I mean, Chapultepec played it 7,000 yards or 7,000 feet, and equivalent of like a high school boys event, basically yardage wise. He really did good there. He should be well and primed for the 7,500 yard golf course at the PGA Championship.
Good job, buddy. Which I think that's a good time to also bring up Bryson's issue with that course. Clearly, he was the only one who had an issue with it, but he's on one of the holes, kind of over in the rough, and he's just sitting there waiting for a rules official, and he's just, there's got to be a ruling here. There's got to be a ruling here. This is rough, and it's like, hey man, you signed up to play around the world. This is what you got to play with. Everyone else is playing with it. Stop being.
Yeah.
I think he's trying to kind of tinfoil cap. He's using this as like I can't stand this anymore. I got to get out of here because that was such a weird thing to be mad at. They've played at worse courses.
Yeah.
How many PGA Tour events do you see someone hit it on like the trampled rough that the spectators have walked on? Like they all play from different places. He's the only one who complains about this.
I've been saying it, man. He's reverting back to the Bryson we hate.
The pre-Bryson.
The pre-what?
The pre-PR team when he hired his PR team.
Yeah.
Said, hey, dude.
Exactly. It's insane.
All right, I'm gonna break down the news of the LIV news over the last week, and I'm gonna go really fast, and then we can go back. I feel like let's hit the spots. You guys tell me where you guys want to hit the spots that we need to talk about.
I like it.
But I'm gonna go through Tuesday to Tuesday. Essentially, that's when the news happened. So last Tuesday to today. Okay, Tuesday last week, Monday Q Info, which is a great Twitter account. If you don't follow, would highly recommend. Reports that the Saudis have pulled funding for LIV. And expects LIV Mexico to not happen, which is crazy because they were all down there. Thursday, LIV announces that the reports are BS and an investment sales pitch from the CEO, basically on live TV. During that Thursday television event, when they started doing the round, there was a blackout, a power outage, so they were off air for like 2 hours. Tournament went on. That same Thursday, at TNT Sports, which is a UK channel, has an interview with the CEO where he accidentally admits they only actually have funding from the Saudis through 2026. They delete the interview, cut that part out, and repost it, but everybody saved the original one where he said they only have funding through 2026. What? Friday, Bryson complains about the turf in Mexico, which we just hit. Sunday, Bryson WDs for the final round with wrist pain. Sunday, Jon Rahm wins LIV Mexico, which is an indictment on this whole process because he stinks. He wins by like 5. Sunday, LIV commits to returning to Mexico in 2027, which is also insane because they don't have funding. And Monday, where there's reports that Bryson's lining up plans for after LIV, which I can only assume means the YouTube golf tour with the Bryan Bros and Grant Teeth or whatever the fuck his name is. And then Tuesday, Smash GC rebrands to Oklahoma Golf Club to just put the cherry on top of this whole the whole thing. Could you imagine naming yourself? We're gonna brand it to one of the smallest, least populated states in the United States, and that's what we're gonna. That's the future of this golf club. It's like making it Cedar Rapids Golf Club.
To quote Herb Brooks, that'll get him going.
So that's the news. All right, take a breath. What do we got to hit up on? What bullet points do we need to break down?
That is a lot, and it's so funny that I was listening to the Talking Heads the other day, and it was very much like the LIV's response was basically saying, "No, we're good. What are you talking about? We're all fine. What do you like?" And then they actually made a good point where golf sources these days, like golf reporting, there's no sources anymore. People just like, you see it on Nuclear Golf Twitter or whatever that page is, and you're like, oh, it's got to be true. Nuclear spelled wrong. It's got to be it. But I wanted to touch on the Smash GC a little bit because it's absolutely ridiculous. Not only is it ridiculous, I'll say their branding is pretty cool. Their logo is pretty sweet. You just name the team after the captain is one take. Weird. Two, like you said, smallest market in the world. They're trying to be a worldwide golf brand, and they market Oklahoma out of all places. We love Oklahoma, but still. And then, like, the most insane thing, you're going to change your team name and your brand mid-season? What is that? It's not like it's Brooks Koepka GC. It's Smash. It's fine. Leave it for the year.
Oklahoma GC with Graham McDowell from Dublin, Ireland on
like what in the world? So strange. Kevin, do you have any of these that you wanna bring up?
Yeah, just everything all about it seems like it's so in line with how LIV just has always been, where it's just so like not professional. There's no flow or fluidity. They were broadcasting at the beginning they were on the CW. It just like is so just like I can't even put it into words just how it's like not nearly the prestige of the PGA Tour. They're trying to be different and trying to do something different, and then they just make themselves look terrible. Rebranding in the middle of the year, just the way that the play has been, and Bryson complaining, and Jon Rahm making all these weird comments, and Brooks left, and Slimy P. Reed left, and everyone wants out of there. The Saudis even want out of it. They know that it's a sham.
I feel like
it's over.
I feel like MBS was reading like the financials, and it's like, we spent $5 billion on what?
Yeah.
Get that out of here!
My son did what?
Yeah, MBS is a listener to our show, so he's clearly going to come after us.
Yeah, you're right. It's almost as unserious as Tom Kim winning Player of the Year in TGL. I couldn't believe that. I barely even watched it, but I'm like, Tom Kim, really?
I didn't even see that.
That's boy.
With Bryson doing his plans after LIV, I did think it was really interesting that instead of using Bryson's channel, Twitter page, they used Crush GC. Like
Crushers?
Yeah, they use Crushers.
Can you put some respect on their name, Dom?
Sorry, I don't care.
The names are so dumb.
It's like, okay, Bryson's going to start this new 2v2 with Garrett Clark playing against randoms. It's like, why are you this isn't LIV Golf. Why would I care if I'm a fan? Like, it's so interesting.
I saw this funny thing today. I can't take credit for it because it's hilarious, but it was like Bryson's new golf tour is going to be, all right, who can shoot 5 under on the back nine while finishing an entire tub of mayo? Like, that's gonna be his next challenge.
That is so ridiculous, dude. Oh my gosh. I don't hate his YouTube content though. That's the thing. That's what's so weird about all this. It's like there's YouTube Bryson and then tournament Bryson. It's so weird. I don't.
In my video of the year, I gave him one of the videos of the year in 2025 for his practice round at Oakmont, showing us Oakmont and how he was going to play it and like all that sort of stuff. That was a fantastic YouTube video. And then he goes and does shit like, let's go finish a whole box of Cheerios on the back nine, and you're like, oh, God, this is a waste of my brain cells.
I wanted to bring up Ian Poulter's comments. I don't know if y'all saw these. So they essentially were talking about Brooks Koepka going back to PGA, and Ian Poulter was very butthurt about it. He was saying, and I'm going to read some of these quotes, there's a definite issue between the PGA Tour and LIV. What did they really open up? They gave an opportunity to 4 players and 4 players only. I'll ask everyone on the outside, how does that honestly look when you only take players who have won? Brooks, 5 majors. Cam Smith, who's won the Players in the Open. You would take back Bryson DeChambeau and gave the opportunity to Jon Rahm. So just F everyone else, right? We want the biggest 4 assets so we can nick. We want the biggest 4 assets that we can nick back from LIV, and we don't want any of you lot. How does that look? And I'm just going to stop there because, yeah, Ian, we want the people who are good. What kind of comments are these? Like, no, we don't want you back if you're bad. That's Brian Roloff's whole thing is he wants what's best for the tour. He wants what's going to be entertaining, and he wants what's going to give viewers. We're not going to watch Ian Poulter anymore. Like, obviously he's a legend, but like, no, he's not good anymore.
Ian and his 7,000 cars can just go sail off into the sunset.
Yeah. It's like
we don't need to watch him anymore.
From Zombieland, where Woody Harrelson's crying with the money. Like, just go cry with your money. It's fine. Like, it's such an interesting take where he's like, wow, I can't believe they're only taking back the people who have won the most important tournaments on the PGA. Isn't that weird? Yeah.
Yeah. His only claim to fame for the last 15 years has been every once in a while, the Ryder Cup he would play phenomenal in, and he would be dog shit in between. He'd just pull it out of his ass to play well in match play at the Ryder Cup, which is great for him. The Ryder Cup is like the biggest event for, Europe versus USA, but he would just be absolutely irrelevant every other minute in between Ryder Cups.
His son is sick though. I randomly watched it was Florida versus, was it Arkansas maybe? I can't remember, some random college tournament that was on ESPN 20, and Ian Poulter's son was killing it, and he destroyed the kid he played against. So I think he could be pretty fun to watch eventually. But
yeah, Luke Poulter is legit. I think he's gonna be good, but hopefully he doesn't do that. I mean, if you're like, I would be pissed if I'm Ben On. Ben On was a pretty good PGA Tour player. He's now on. This is his first year on Korean Golf Club, which is way better than Oklahoma Golf Club. And then like Michael Lasasso, right?
Oh, yeah.
He was like one of the standout. He had a Masters invite this year because he won the NCAAs. He declined that to go play for High Flyers Golf Club.
Forgot about that.
With Phil Mickelson, who now is not playing because of family reasons, and then LIV is going to be disbanded after 2026. So he gave up his spot in the Masters, gave up pretty much an automatic PGA Tour card for, yes, he got a good amount of millions of dollars, but like, I don't know. That's nuts to me.
That swing probably isn't lasting much longer. So I'm glad he got a bag, but like you said, I don't know. Patrick Reed's going through the World Tour, the Euro Tour to kind of earn his way back. Brooks just had so much money, they just like, pay a fine, he'll be okay. So like, I hope he makes his way back somehow. I think that's a good, quote unquote punishment, is to make these guys grind it out for a year and, do a full year. You're not winning these massive purses because, you're fine on money for a little bit. So let's prove that you actually want to be on tour. So I think it's kind of a nice little segue into PGA, kind of prove that you're not just here to make money. You're here to actually play golf like we want to play golf.
Yeah, I love the pictures of Brooks waiting to get into this tournament. He went straight from Augusta and is just sitting poolside as the first alternate. That was hilarious.
He's awesome, man.
I feel like to wrap it up, we got the Saudis have now canceled Neom, the line city, if you're familiar with that. So Neom was the city they were gonna build like a line. It was like gonna be like a 20-mile line city in the middle of the desert, and it was gonna be this crazy metropolis, and it was gonna cost $1 bazillion. They canceled that. They canceled the all-around indoor ski resort that they're gonna try to host the Olympics at in Saudi Arabia, the Winter Olympics in Saudi. Dom, I'm not making this up. I promise.
It sounds like it.
They canceled that project, and now they canceled LIV. What else is next? They're going to cancel everything else.
I'm the least political person, but I hear it's something to do with like all the war going on. Who knows? We don't have to touch on it, but I'm like, there's got to be some overarching reason why this is all happening so randomly. You know what I mean? It's weird.
I just don't see any way that any business person says yes, this is a good investment.
Yeah.
After there's no way. I mean, you're just burning cash on, and I don't think anybody is going to have the money to pay Bryson what he wants to be paid. So now you lose arguably your biggest asset outside of Jon Rahm and Bryson. I mean, who else is there?
Yeah, unless they just agree to make smaller smaller contracts. Like, I don't see where that works. Or they just, Greg Norman concedes and he kind of says, hey, let's just go back to what I wanted originally. And we have, 6 tournaments a year that are a fun shotgun start that's one day. Because that's the whole idea in the beginning, was just an exhibition thing. And then PGA was like, nah, that's not what we're about. So that's why he did all this. So it's like, why don't we just merge? It'll be fine. Make like a fun tournament as like a bye week. If you don't want to play, you don't have to play. We know Rory won't, but whatever.
Yeah, we definitely missed an opportunity to have a PGA Tour versus LIV sort of Ryder Cup event. That would have been the event of the year for sure if that ever happened. But I get why the PGA Tour didn't want that to happen. They couldn't risk losing.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be sick. I mean, it's pretty much every major. The best LIV players are already playing in majors.
Yeah. In 10 years from now, we're going to be telling our kids that there was somebody told us that a team called the Range Goats in golf was worth $1 billion. I just want to throw that out there.
So while we're on the subject of other tours, I want to talk about the Korn Ferry Tour for a quick second, because they're adding in an average stroke time. We're talking pace of play timing, which is very fun. They're calling it the AST, and it's a pretty interesting concept. So kind of going through, this is the note that they left their players. So they're doing this so they can provide competitive context to fans. They want to create positive storylines and changing the perception around speed of play, which currently is skewing negative because everyone's saying, with Cantlay, it's like, gosh, he's taking forever. And then Ludwig is, going 4 seconds. So it's a weird perception going on, and it's just all relative. So they kind of want to just show, hey, this is what we're doing. And like I said, correcting inaccurate information and supporting members who are incorrectly labeled as slow players. So what they're doing, it's very similar to the ABS system in baseball, if you are familiar. So the automated ball strike is what it's known for. So they've been doing it in the minors for about 6 years. And 3 of those years was random leagues that didn't matter. So the last 2 or 3 years, they've been doing the challenge situation where if you don't know, throw a strike, it's called the ball, catcher thinks it's on the line, he can tap his helmet, boom, whatever. Doesn't matter. So they're going to roll this out after, actually, no, it's this coming tournament. For the Korn Ferry, they're rolling this out. They're going to start timing people, and it's essentially going to be on the PGA website in the stat sheet. So you can kind of just see total time. I'm not sure if they're doing like only average per shot or if they're going to do total time or something like that. Like that'd be kind of cool to just see how much time is spent preparing for a shot versus walking to the next ball. Like you can take the total round time, subtract the preparation. That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, it's a very interesting process, and I think similar to the baseball, is that it's going to start in the Korn Ferry and then eventually make its way to the PGA. So I don't know, do y'all have any specific people that you'd be kind of interested to see? I just mentioned Cantlay, but anyone off the top of your head?
I don't know, Kevin, you got anybody?
Brian Harmon comes to mind as being slow. Bryson would be, but he's clearly not playing on the PGA Tour.
Might be at that time.
That's where my mind went, was Bryson.
So it seems like a pretty subjective stat because you're not going to count when they're walking from their tee shot to their second shot. And then if they say have a longer drive, when do you count that it's their turn, to take their second shot? They're preparing for that, the whole time the other player is going. So I don't know how you really time that. If, maybe if you just wait for the other balls to come to rest, and then they're on the clock. But That sounds like it would be, up to the timekeeper, and it could vary. But I don't know. Maybe they've got some like really defined rules.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty interesting point. And quick note: there's like basketball. Have you heard all those the rumors where it's like Michael Jordan didn't actually get 15 assists in the game? The stat keepers were Chicago fans.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of wild if that's similar. But anyways, I was thinking that too about the timing. If it's like they would have the players have like a certain cue of here's when your time starts kind of thing. Like at first I was thinking when the caddies drop the bag, but then the caddy would be smart and just hold the bag for a while and then drop it or whatever. I don't know. They probably will have some kind of form of starting the clock, and it's like, okay, clock starts now. Kind of like how baseball has like the timer in your face showing you. But yeah, I never really thought of it like that, where it is a very subjective timing.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be great. I think it's gonna be fun, and it adds a new, it'll be interesting to see if like they enforce it coming down the 18th hole.
Oh yeah, because it's not like they haven't really said that they're stroking guys, as Brooks likes to say. That's literally just we're just doing this as a stat, as a timekeeping stat, just to show you what these players are actually doing. So if that's the case, like you said, Kevin, they're probably going to make it way shorter than you think. I'm very curious to see what Cantlay does, if he's still playing by then.
I think next on the golf news is Hao Tong Lee. So if you're in golf media space and you haven't seen the Hao Tong Lee interview with Smiley Kaufman, he is like the best. He was the best sport after his 10. Like he went on interviews and talked about it. He's like maybe one of the funniest players of all time. Like he talks about so many funny things, like chasing speed with Bryson and the President's Cup and all this sort of stuff. Like would highly recommend going and watch Hao Tong Lee. He went from like kind of not really known to being like one of my favorite players to watch. I think.
Didn't he walk in wearing a robe and goggles? Is that what I saw? Yeah. He's funny, man. Yeah, we need to see him more.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, quickly on to Zurich today. So Zurich Classic, kind of a sleepy event on the PGA Tour. It's the only partners event. So this is the one where you play with a partner. You get some real weird players because I think they can basically bring in anybody from like history. So rounds 1 and 3 are 4-ball, and then rounds 2 and 4 are foursomes. So it's alternate shot and best ball, essentially, basically switching off rounds. Some notable teams: Aaron Rai and Sahith Theegala. Feel like they're fun. They could be fun to watch.
That'd be cool.
The Fitzies, the Fitzpatrick brothers, Alex and Matt. I think if they win, that would be really cool. Ben Griffin and Andrew Novak. Andrew Novak, big topic on last week's podcast, if I remember correctly.
Heck yeah.
Defending. Yeah. And then Austin Cook and Jason Duffner. You don't see Duff Daddy out here a lot. Kind of a blast from the past. I haven't seen his name in a long.
Cleveland guy.
Blaze Brown, Luke Clanton.
That's a good one.
That could be
That's
cool.
a very good one.
That's a big thing too. Is there's a good amount of players that are, if you win the event, you get full PGA Tour card status.
Mm-hmm.
So there's actually a good amount of guys. I didn't realize Joel Damon was on that list.
Who doesn't have PGA Tour status?
Yeah. Does he not have full status?
He has like temporary status. Like he did not play well the last couple of years.
Yeah, kind of like exemptions or whatever. Yeah, it should be pretty fun. It's always, it's an interesting watch for me. I kind of recently started paying attention to the Zurich. It's one of those where, kind of a hangover after RBC. You're kind of like, okay, it's just Zurich. But then since watching, I think the first time I really locked in was a couple years ago when Rory and Lowry won it. And that's, it's way more fun than I thought it was going to be. So it is pretty fun. I'm pretty excited to watch. Kevin, I know you really enjoyed the course.
Yeah, the field doesn't seem quite as strong this year as in the past. In the past, we had like Xander, Cantlay, Rory, Lowry. There's some heavy hitters. And this year isn't quite as strong. But yeah, definitely enjoyed the course. It was very fun. We played it a few weeks after the Zurich a couple of years ago. They use such an intense dyed fertilizer that it dyed my shoes, and now it is 4 years later. I still have those shoes and they are still very green. The sole, just from walking around there. But I really liked it. The greens were absolutely lightning fast when we played it. And for the munis that I'm used to playing, it was tough for old boy over here. But I had a good time. It was interesting seeing from the TV. You're used to the grandstand views, and then just a couple weeks later, when all those grandstands are gone, the course looks almost like nothing alike. I had a hard time recognizing holes from TV to playing it in person.
Oh, interesting.
So you guys want to get into trivia time?
Heck yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
Here's another question that I'm scared about. I just feel like Matt's going to know it because he knows absolutely everything. But we're going to ask it anyways. So, as always, the stakes are if one of the two of you gets it right, me and the other person will chug a beer as a penalty.
I'll finish my glass of wine.
No, it's got to be a full chug. Follow the rules. So, TPC Louisiana, 2004. They had a sighting of an alligator, pretty famous alligator who lived on the course for almost 20 years with 3 legs. What was his nickname?
Alligator's
2004.
That was his first sighting. So it was up through, there's stories about him as recently as 2020 time.
Jeez.
I thought you would know this immediately, Matt.
3 legs. Ugh.
I don't even know if I have a guess.
No, I don't even know. I mean, I was going to say I was going to pull some Happy Gilmore thing and it was Chubbs or something.
I was thinking that
Good
too.
guess.
That'd be a fun one. I was
I'll
thinking
go
Swamp People. You remember that show? Boy.
Yeah.
Shoot him, Elizabeth.
Is it a golf themed name?
I'll tell you after.
Dang it.
We need Dom's guess.
Gator. I'm gonna not overthink this one.
It's a good one too. You're gonna be kicking yourself when you hear the answer. He's 3-legged and his nickname was Tripod.
Oh, that's a good one. I thought you were gonna say Eileen.
Yeah, right. So yeah, he hasn't been seen in a while. In recent tournaments, there's been an alligator that's been going across the fairways and stuff that players see, but he's got 4 legs. So
It's like
so maybe it's the end of old Tripod.
it's like Mini Me in
Yeah. Exactly.
That was a good one. That was a stump. I wouldn't have got that one.
Finally got him.
I'm happy not
Yeah.
to be chugging this week.
Finally got the trivia master. That's impressive. So I think that's a good time to also bring up our one and dones. Very exciting one and done week.
That's right.
Once again, we all had pretty solid guesses.
Pretty solid.
Yeah, Matt's was okay.
Does Matt's even count? I don't think Matt's pick even counts.
I don't think so. Just kidding.
Why?
Matt Fitzpatrick was Matt's one and done pick. It was excellent. He deserves all the glory. He gets 1 point this week. Massive. That brings his total from 517 to 518.
You're a bad guy. You're a bad guy. All hail the queen for Matt Fitzpatrick.
Oh, you're incredible, Matt. Yeah, I hope you don't let us hear the end of it because the first win, because Kevin, you got so close. Our second week, you had Shane Lowry. You got who kind of choked and got second place, but it's pretty fun that we got a winner. I wasn't sure if it was going to happen, but congrats, Matt. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Kevin had Russell Henley, and he ended up 25th place, and that brings his total to 332. I went with Patrick Cantlay. Again, I'm going with heavy hitters, and it seems to be working so far. Let's see if I can hold it up. He finished T8, so I'll redo these totals. So, Matt, incredible, 518. Kevin, 332. Dominic is at 194, coming up on 200 finally. So this is kind of an interesting one for our one and dones. We can either, I think a good route is choose a team to win, clean slate for this 1 week. If you've chosen this guy before, you can choose him again, and it won't count towards future tournaments. So we're just picking separately, and we'll take the placement as well. So Matt, who do you have this week for the Zurich Classic?
Yeah, man, I was thinking about a lot of different teams. I just couldn't think. I am going to go Brooks Koepka and Shane Lowry.
Dang it.
I hate it pains me to pick Shane Lowry. I hate Shane Lowry, but I think they're the best team in the field.
Why do you hate
I think
Lowry?
Alec I just don't, I don't like his whole shtick. He's like, "Oh, I'm a funny Irish guy," and then he says, "Fook this golf course" every time he sees one, and then he's like, "Oh, but I'm Irish, I can do that."
That's fair.
Yeah, I don't like him either. I agree with you, Matt.
All right, Kevin.
Sorry, did I pick your pick?
Yeah, you did, but that's okay. I think Kevin probably would have chosen him after me or after you. Kevin, who do you got?
This is a tough one because the field is so different from years past. But I'm going to go with guys you mentioned before and go Aaron Rai and Sahith Theegala.
That was my second pick. They were good. That's a good pick.
Nice. Okay, those are all good people. I have to kind of...
Matt Fitzpatrick is playing with his brother, right? Wouldn't that be a pretty solid one?
Yeah, and Alex, he also won this year on DP World Tour, which is very fun.
In India.
India. So I'm going between, I have three people I'm choosing from, and it's Finau Greyersman, and that's essentially Matt Sampello, because they have the same exact golf swing, which is very fun. I was going to do potentially the Fitzpatricks, or Ryan Gerard and Yella Majaru. Yella Majaru's been sick lately. Like, he's always, he's making cuts, which is awesome. But that one seems seems a little bit too out there.
Mount Kilimanjaro, as I like to call him.
Exactly. I'm gonna go with my boy. I want to buy his putter. Give me Finau and Greyersman.
You're gonna go with Tony Finau? He came DFL by 5 strokes at RBC Heritage.
Okay.
All right.
We're
getting closer to Dom this week.
Potteter went dead last, and then he ended up being what, T10? I don't know what he was. We'll see what happens. Maybe something changes here. It's probably not the best choice, but
If he goes top 10, you got to buy his putter.
I'll take that deal. All right, beautiful. Anything else, boys?
I think Kevin wanted me to quickly hit on my member guest experience. I know you're short on time, Dom, so we'll hit it. Ask me anything. I'll give you a quick recap. Played in the Colonial member guest on Thursday and Friday of last week. I'm explaining it as it's a science experiment for very wealthy Texas men. It's a lot of drinking. It's a lot of food. It's a lot of golf. It's very fun. The course is in great condition. It was awesome because all the stands are up, so you're kind of playing in like the PGA Tour arena a little bit.
That's fun.
Stands are up. That was very cool. Greens were icy fast. It was very fun. Everything about it was good. Don't have a bad thing to say. It is it's a cool place. The course, everybody says Colonial is kind of easy. It's not. It's freaking hard. There's a lot of rough, a lot of small greens, very undulating. So it's good stuff. Well, the course has been completely redone. I think the greens are firmer. So now they have sub-air underneath the greens. So basically that's a big fan underneath the greens that they have where they can control the firmness.
What?
So it's how they control, because in Texas they have bent grass greens, and so when you have bent grass greens in Texas, you have to control the moisture and the temperature, and so they have big fans underneath all the surfaces to keep them the temperature that they want, essentially.
That's wild.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah, a lot of like Augusta's famous for having sub air. It's a cool spot though. I'm a big fan. They do a great job. The golf staff there is unbelievable.
That's where you showed Aaron Rai the F1 race.
That's right. Yeah. They put on a good event. I think it's just funny. Like there's just all types of personalities, right? You have the people that are super competitive. You have the people that are just there to drink and have fun. You have the people that are there for the business connections, I guess you could call it, right?
How much did you drink?
Well, not too much, but they did have some good whiskey there. So me and my partner do. But the good thing is my partner, he's not expecting to win. He's more there for the vibes. So it was very vibes driven, which was good. It was more just, we got to kind of hang out, hit some good golf shots, made a few good birdies, made a few bogeys. It wasn't like competitive. It wasn't like, I really want to go win this. I don't think that was the vibe at all, which is nice because, you never want it to get like awkward or anything like that. Like we were middle of the pack the whole way. So I wasn't too worried about it.
Was it, what was the format? Is it best ball?
Yeah, just best ball. I had to give 2 strokes back to the field, which was tough. I don't understand handicap the way they have to do the give 2 strokes back, because I had to give strokes back on hole number 2, which I understand. Number 2 is an easy par 4. I totally get that. So 3 for 4 there if I made birdie. And then I had to give a stroke back on number 16. And number 16 is a 185-yard par 3 with water right and water left. And I was hitting 2 from the tee box. I was like, this is bullshit. This is bullshit.
Stop being so good.
A lot of people.
What, Kevin?
I said, stop being so good.
No, I know. I'm a true vanity handicap right now. I'm not. That's why I'm taking a sabbatical.
Yeah, well, you should just keep playing so you bring your handicap back.
I know. I need to start posting. I think I shot like 75. I think I went 75, 73. And the golf course is par 70, so 5 over and 3 over, which for there is respectable for not really playing it that much. Still, like, I think that should bring my handicap up a little bit. I don't even know if they posted it. I don't know if they auto post the gin scores. I'm afraid of Yip Strickler, but he'll find me if I'm sandbagging.
Sometimes they do. So like in Midwest, we have a time limit. Like you can start posting in April and you can't post after November 5th or whatever it is. Is that similar in Texas? I can't remember.
No, you can post all year round.
Oh, okay. You dirty dog.
Yeah.
Gnarly.
Whatever.
Any more questions, Kevin?
No, I don't think so. Thanks for sharing, Matt. That sounds like an awesome time.
Yeah, it was a fun event. Hoping we run it back next year. So
You gonna buy that 3-wood with your clubhouse money?
No, I bought this hoodie, a little Grayson hoodie.
Ooh.
I would never spend $250 on a hoodie, but when you have some pro shop credit, why not?
Heck yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, beautiful. Yeah, I think great recap. A lot of LIV news. We don't normally talk about LIV, but you know, you gotta get creative whenever there's a repeat winner on the PGA Tour. But if you wanted to see Matt Fitzpatrick's Under the Covers, go check that episode out. It was the Valspar Championship. We called it the Frumpy Heavenwood. So please check that one out if you want to hear it. But besides that, thanks for listening. Go follow us on all of our socials, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, at Under the Covers Golf. Can't wait to see the Zurich Classic. And I think what we're going to do next week, potentially get into the women's major. Maybe do
That's right.
LPGA.
Chevron Championship.
All right.
That's right. MBS, if you're listening, please keep LIV alive. We like talking about it. It's kind of fun. It's almost so bad it's funny.
It's good for the tour.
He knows it doesn't matter what's under a hood. The only thing that matters is who's behind the wheel.
When I wash it, I don't stick divots.
But again, with the driver right now, the driver sucks.
I tried to activate my glutes the best I could.
Now watch this drive.